Hello, everyone. What is good? So, welcome to a new trading week. All right. This is the dollar index chart, as you can see on the monthly time frame, and you can see we've been very bearish this month. Okay, so we have just one more day for November to for this November monthly candle to close, and I'm very sure it's gonna close bearish, right? I don't think we can have one day that's going to push price all the way back to being bullish. Right. So this month is going to close a bearish month. Right. And then looking, coming from this monthly, from a monthly standpoint, I can still, anticipate more bearishness for the dollar index. So maybe December is going to give us another bearish, monthly candle because I want to see price come to this area, then maybe we can have some kind of, buy opportunities in those areas, like long-term buy opportunities, is what I'm trying to say, right? Because we have this resistance, and so this area, which we have an institutional cube, we can see this institutional mitigation cube in this area lines up perfectly with the supply and demand area. So I think that's a very strong level where price can reject from. And then we also have imbalances to the downside. So just keep that in mind. Right. So on a weekly, so last week, we had a very bearish, yeah, kind of it was a bearish week. We had price. So when, the week opened, I was last week opening price rallied up, came into this imbalance. Right? We were discussing, the possibilities of price. If you watch the last weekly outlook call, we're discussing the possibilities of price going up into the imbalance and then distributing to go down from there, which was what we had. You can see price opened, gave us another high, came into the imbalance, filled it up a little, and then we had distribution, and then price dropped and closed bearish. Now, I can remember in the last call, that was last week, weekly outlook, we had different areas where we're anticipating price to reject from because we had it was one big imbalance on the weekly time frame, or scaling down to the daily time frame. We had two imbalances that were there. This one, and then we have this one, right? And as you can see, price chose to distribute from the first one, and then price dropped to the downside, just like pricing come for this one up here. I was actually, anticipating and was expecting that price was going to come to this higher one, which was going to be like a more premium entry for me. But then, Smart Money decided to reject from this one, and then price dropped. If we go to EU, we discussed the possibilities of price rejecting from this area or this area. Now, this area was the one I was more interested in, but we also had some, play in this area for Euro USD to the upside. So if you actually did kept an eye on this, you could have actually cut about, I think, more than 200 pips, right? So if we go to EU, all right, so this is EU chart. This was the daily. Okay, this big imbalance, this big gray area was the weekly imbalance. And then when we scale down to the daily, we had two imbalances that were there on the daily. The first one and then the second one, just like what we had for the dollar index. EU came down, accumulated at the first imbalance on the daily, and then went to the upside. I think it was on the 30 minutes we had, the play to the upside. So in this area, yeah, this is where we had the accumulation in the first imbalance, right? Now we're going to be monitoring structure to see what happened. We had this low, we had this high, and then price gave us a lower low, right? So we are anticipating accumulation inside this area. Like I told you, in the last call, we are not looking for you're not just going to be looking out for any break of structure anywhere. Okay, you want to be really precise as to where you want to see the structure shift. Is it at a higher time frame point of interest? If it is, then those are higher probability trade setups for me. You understand? Just like this, we had this lower low, lower high, lower low, and then we had a breaker structure in this area. Right? And then we had this as a higher high. So in terms of our daily, in terms of our 30-minute range now, we have this as down range and this as top range. And then you can see price came down. All right, where's price coming into this imbalance, right? Price is coming into this imbalance. Boom. That was the entry to go up. So you could have played the imbalance, I think at the 50 level, but it was also at let me confirm. Yeah, this I think so. Yeah, I was at the 80 level rather. Yeah, so could have played 80 level. Stop loss can go above this candle. Yeah, just above this candle here. That was 8 pips stop loss. Yeah, you could, have been a part of all of this to the upside. Um, I wasn't around when this trade activate. As you can see, this trade got activated 6:30 in the morning. I was preparing to go to the hospital, so I couldn't even look at the chart. Okay, then the next day, which was Tuesday, I actually wanted to catch a buy because I'd already seen that, okay, I missed out on this trade already. So how can I join this trade? I can remember I was anticipating that price was going to come down into this imbalance in this area. This was where I was anticipating for a buy opportunity. Okay, because the daily candle opened and I was anticipating price was going to drop, fill me in, and then go up immediately. I think I had a markup for it. So I was anticipating that, okay, since I have missed out from the very beginning where the breaker structure happened, how can I join this to go to the upside? You know, and I think it was, yeah, let me show you. So I actually marked it up very early in the morning. Yes, so this was, oh, it was still, yeah, just 1 minute after the market, like daily candle opened on the 30 minutes, I was anticipating for buy opportunity in this area. I wanted to join price. Yeah, as you can see, price did not fill me in, right? It just went up, came down a little, and then just flew to the upside. So I actually missed out on this one. So two opportunities. The first one down here, second one here. This one did not fill me in, and then had a busy week, so I couldn't even look at the chart. And I just wanted to get in and just hold it to the upside because I know it was gonna go to the upside. So just I like to get in, early and then just hold maybe for the rest of the week, right? Because I already know what the directional buyer should be. So I can hold, catch a trade on Monday and just hold it all through till the week is over. And the thing with me is once I'm in a trade on a particular pair, I don't like to hard positions. So if I actually got in here, I wouldn't even be looking for new entries. I'm just gonna hold that and then just see how far it's gonna go, right? Because I actually, wanted it to capture this daily equal highs we had in this area. As you can see, uh actually came to capture it. So this was last week play. We discussed the possibilities of this happening and it actually happened. So now, what am I seeing for this week, right? It's Tuesday. One day has gone already, right? What am I seeing? Okay, so I still, first we have this liquidity here, okay, this area. All right, so I can see we have this internal liquidity in this area. Uh, we have this internal liquidity and a few price will be attracted to this area. Okay, we also have this, okay, this liquidity here. And let me put this liquidity below and then maybe this internal liquidity. Yeah, which is the liquidity that's inside the range. Now, if we come to, the daily, like we zoom in now, we have this daily range, right? Price rejected from this imbalance, okay? And now we have a daily range to play. Lower low, lower high, lower low, right? So in terms of the daily present range, we have this as the top range and this area here as the down range. right? So what are we anticipating when price is bearish? A push up and then look for distribution to go down. Just like we had in this area, price came into the imbalance, gave us the distribution, went down. I'm also anticipating something like that in this area also, because I can see now you could remove all of this imbalance here. Okay, let's remove just this one. Okay, and then leave this one up here. And now we have this new daily range. This is the top range here. And then this is the down range here. And we can also see what the imbalance that is present in this area, right? So on Friday, we actually had price come into the imbalance. Okay, and price rejected. Now, yesterday, I had a quick call with my team before I actually went to the Highland. So we talked about price coming back into this area, coming back into the imbalance, right? Since it has not filled it up to 50%. But yesterday price action, was a bullish day, came into the imbalance well. And we already have like a 50% fill already. Yes. So it is okay for price to start going down, right? So it could either come to the open, distribute, 50% distribute, or fill up the imbalance entirely. But now the directional buyers, I still want to see price go to the downside. Are there reasons as to why I, think price might go down? Yes, started from the monthly, price might be drawn to that support level. On the weekly, we also see the internal liquidity. On the daily, we also see the liquidity to the downside, right? So there's a money just chilling, towards the downside, and then price might be attracted to this area. So I want to see, the dollar come to the downside. That is what I'm anticipating. Yes. So now I'm expecting price to drop and go to the downside. So now if we scale to the 4 hours, what do we have? All right, so this again is going to be the daily imbalance. And we can say inside the daily imbalance, we have what? The 4-hour imbalance. So this is how you can be precise about, which of the imbalance is going to be played. Now, this 4-hour imbalance is actually lining up with what? Around the 50% of what the daily imbalance. So this can actually give you or give us a telltale sign that, okay, I think price is going to go past the opening of the imbalance into the 50%. That's just like we had in this area. Now, the daily structure is bearish, right? But what we can see from the 4-hour structure now is, okay, so this did not close below. So we are still bearish on the 4 hours. So on 4 hour, we have this as the low range, lower low, the high, and then this low, right? This did not close below this, right? And then it's just going up, going to go down again. Now, if I'm to measure this now from this high to this low, we already have 50% rejection. Okay, so from this high to this low, we already have what 50%. So that is okay for a premium sell, right? Any area from 50% above is what we're looking out for a sell. And price has gotten to 50%, lines up with what the 50% of the daily imbalance kind of lines up with the 50% of the 4-hour imbalance also. So this is multiple confluence we're having around the 50 percent areas, right? And then not surprising how price rejected from here. Now, if we scale down to the 1 hour, and 1 hour, we seem to have broken structure, right? This is the low. We have this high, and then we have this lower low, and then price broke the structure, creating what a new 1 hour range. So now the daily is bearish. 4 hours, is also bearish. While the 1 hour now is not in line with what the daily and the 4-hour is doing, because the 1 hour is what the 1 hour is bullish. Are you seeing this now? Now look at, so inside the 4 hours, we also had a 1 hour imbalance in that area. Okay, so price came to that area, rejected, But now the 1 hour is bullish. And then we had some liquidity sweep in this area. I mean, so the 1 hour is bullish. And then we had some liquidity sweep. I think we were actually on the Zoom call when this was happening, right? Yeah, so we had this liquidity sweep to the downside and this area, and then price gave us the push to the upside. So it actually swept this liquidity, but created what another kind of liquidity because we had this. Can you see this area here? And then so this is money in this area. So and since the 4 hour and daily is bearish, I'm still bearish on this. I'm still bearish on the DXY. Okay. Yep. Check the 30 minutes. 15. So okay, quickly let me do this. So since I'm anticipating for a bearish week, we had this was the opening price for the week. Okay, that's Sunday opening price. So now any area, if I'm anticipating a bearish week, I'm selling above the opening price. It's gonna be like the best entry for me because I'm selling coming Sunday. No, no, no. Yes, that's the opening price. So selling above the opening price, right, in bearish conditions would be the best, entry. And we're still above the opening price now. And if we are seeing this going lower, then selling above here will be the best. So on the 15 minutes, coming, let me see this. All right, let's go to EU. Let me just see what EU is doing. All right, so we've established already the directional bias for the dollar index. Maybe it's going to give us a bearish week. Okay, and because of the liquidity to the downside, that's why I'm banking on those liquidity that we might have a bearish week. So we're just going to see if my assumptions is going to be right. Okay. Now for EU, it's just going to be the opposite, right? So bullish week, although we've captured this liquidity already in this area, the DXY still has it as equal lows, but then we have a new range for EU, right? We have this as, we have the new range, this higher high, this higher low, and then this higher high. And then we can see how price, has come into this imbalance and our price has, given us accumulation in this area to go up. So if this equal highs on the dollar index, it was equal lows, right? So because of the equal lows on the DXY, I'm still anticipating, more bullishness for EU. Right. So now let's scale down to the lower time frame and see if there's any opportunity we can be a part of, right? So scale down to 1 hour. Coming. All right. Okay. So 30 minutes. See. Okay. Like one of the places that I'm saying now is we can get like bullishness from this imbalance. But I'm not seeing that, clear entry for me yet. So, So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait. I'm still going to wait for more candles to print, so I can, then decide as to where my entry is going to be. But in terms of the directional bias, I still see price going to the upside for EU because of the equal lows we have on the DXY. All right, so that's what I'm looking at for the EU and the DXY. So Bitcoin is at 16,500 now. Okay, yes. So we're actually looking at for distribution in this area. Okay, and I can see price came there, rejected to the downside. Yes, and but price is back up again. So let's see. All right, let's go to the 1 hour quickly. Okay, now made sense. Price captured the liquidity, and you see captured the liquidity, feel the imbalance, and then rallied up. Sure, they're coming for this liquidity now. All right, so it was funny. We're actually anticipating price to reject from this area. Yesterday on a call, I can remember on a call, I was telling you guys that we can see price come to this demand supply area and then project to go down, should capture the liquidity, come into this imbalance, accumulate from there. But I was at the highland when all of this was happening, so I couldn't check the chart. But we can see played out well. So what am I anticipating now? This liquidity has been captured already. So I'll just make this as X price came into the imbalance. As you can see, filled the imbalance. We had accumulation in this area to go up. Let me see if there was accumulation in this area yet to go up. Start being a tricky one, right? This last candle and this, okay, so we had this liquidity here plus this imbalance. I was in this area. Yeah. That's where price came to, right? Boom. So that was a entry to go up. But then I wasn't a part of this. So after the break of structure, you can see we had a break of structure. This break high. So this is the range on a 1 minute. We had internal liquidity plus imbalance. We have played that entry, yeah, and then go up. And so, but then what am I looking at? We have a new setup. Let's see. Let's go to the 1 hour. Now I'm bullish. Okay, on this, like price should still sell. Okay, like coming from, if we go to a very higher time frame now, what am I saying? Okay, let's start from like the daily, so I can like show you what I'm seeing. Okay, all right, on the daily we have this liquidity, and then price is still very much bearish. Okay, that's something I want us to understand. Okay, price is still bearish. Okay, we had this low, we had this high, we had this lower low, right? So price is still bearish. In terms of the structure, within the structure, we're having this lower lows and lower highs, also lower low, lower high, lower low, potential lower high. We don't know if that is going to be the lower high until this, range low has been price, a candle has closed below this in this area, then we can say, okay, this is a lower high. For now, this is still a potential lower high. And then I was anticipating price rejecting from this imbalance in this area. And as you can see, price traded through the imbalance, filled it up completely. And ever since then, we've been having some bearishness, multiple bearish days, right? Yeah. So now scaling down to the lower time frame, like the 4 hours. Okay. So price has filled this imbalance. So now on the 1 hour, I was seeing this yesterday, okay, because we had liquidity to the upside and then we had liquidity to the downside. Right, so the liquidity to the downside has been swept. This one has been taken out already. And then price came into the imbalance and then rejected to the upside. So we had price coming to the imbalance and then rejected. Now, do we have targets? Okay, I'm seeing this liquidity here that, price might want to come and take because we had this, equal highs in this area. So we have liquidity here. And then we had like a couple of liquidities also to the upside because we also have another one here. Okay, so do I have reasons as to why I want to see price buy, even though the daily is bearish? Yes, because of this liquidity to the upside. Yeah, and I think we have another one in this area. Okay, this one also. So um, let's scale down. Let's go to the 30 minutes now. Okay, and then we even had like very clean accumulation after this, imbalance got tapped. We had this lower low, we had this high, we had this lower low. And then we had this boom, break of structure to the upside. You can see broke the structure. Our 30 minutes range now is this low and then this high, right? Price gave us a discount entry, someone here to go up, right? This happened, this entry happened 1 a.m. in the morning. I think I was sleeping by then. Right. All right, let's see, 10 minutes, what we have. Okay, 20, 15. All right, so this is the 15 minutes range now we're going to be working with, right? I have this, down range here. This was like the first range, and then price gave us our entry, and then now we have a new range we are working with. All right, so this is the down range on the 15 minutes. Yeah. All right. So I don't know if this high has been established already. So I don't want to put this as the top range because it could just go up a little. But now the idea is I want to see accumulation, price to drop and then buy up because of this liquidity. So I want us to uh capture this liquidity. We should join smart money to capture this liquidity. Okay. And is there any area where I think price might reject from? uh it's way down because now if you draw the range from if you draw the fee from this low, if this is going to be the high has been established already, okay, we want to be buying at 50% or below, right? That's a discount entry to go up, right? And from this low, okay, from this area here to 50%, the only place I can see where we have the imbalance is in this area. Okay, and imbalance is lining up around your 71, 78 um, level. And then I can also see some kind of liquidity sweep in this area. And then we have some kind of liquidity sweep in this area, right? So we had this one candle, boom, took out the money here and then the money here. So we have this mitigation candle, lines up with the imbalance, right? Yeah. So I'll be looking at these areas for buy opportunity if price is actually going to come down, right? If they're not going to take out this liquidity. So I want to see something like this. Maybe they leave this liquidity for now, take price down, and then maybe something like this to go to the upside. And then we could catch some, see some kind of accumulation in this area, and then we could shoot for higher price in there. Okay, keep in mind the daily is still bearish, right? So I just want to see this because of the liquidity that is rushing, to the side, to the upside. If this liquidity gets captured already, then just disregard this area. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this is what I'm seeing for Bitcoin. And yeah, so this is my, this is what I'm looking at for Bitcoin and then for EU for this week. All right. I think those are going to be like the two major asset I'm going to be trading this week. Just yes. All right. So I've sent it in I've sent it in the chat box. Just keep an eye on that area. All right, guys. So this is it for this week. I wish you a good trading week. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.